What if every day of your life began with the knowledge that God is with you, within you, guiding you, and loving you? In this video, you will hear the direct and transformative words of Paramahansa Yogananda, which awaken the soul and remind you who you really are. A divine, eternal being, born to find God. If you feel in your heart the call to truth, inner peace, and a deeper connection with the divine, subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell so as not to miss the next contents inspired by the great spiritual masters.
Everything exists because of God. It is because of Him that you exist. It is because of Him that you have material abundance, comfort, and all the satisfactions that come with them. Therefore, your deepest gratitude should go to God. Why then do you not remember His supreme importance to you? How can you sleep every day in ignorance of Him? There is no excuse. Why give so much importance to material life? Go ahead and perform your worldly duties, but in the meantime, think of God. Every day the demon of destiny snatches souls from this temporary earth. At any moment, you may be taken away. Consciously fulfill your duties in the world, but never miss your appointment with God. I work hard to serve everyone, but when I am alone in meditation, I do not allow anyone to disturb me. Other things can wait. The encounter with God should never be neglected. A saint in India would not interrupt his worship even to read urgent messages. In your life, too, you must give supreme importance to daily communion with Him. Otherwise, you will never maintain your bond with God. Take God with you on the journey of life. Great masters will never advise you to be careless. They will teach you balance. You must work, no doubt, to feed and clothe the body. But if one duty contradicts another, then it is not a true duty. Thousands of businessmen are so busy accumulating wealth that they forget that they are also generating a lot of heart disease. If the duty to prosperity makes you forget the duty to health, then it is not a duty. You have to develop harmoniously. It doesn't matter if you have a beautiful body and a peanut brain, your mind needs to be developed too. And if you have excellent health, prosperity, and intellect, but you are not happy, then you have not yet succeeded in life. When you can sincerely say, "I am happy and no one can take this happiness away from me," then you are a king. You have found the image of God within you. Be proud of that image within. If you go through life angry, always irritated by everything and everyone, and die with that consciousness, you have not even begun to realize that God is within you, that He is your very being. Once, an Indian saint and some disciples were bathing in the Ganges when another man came and started washing his horse near the saint. While taking care of the horse, he was intentionally careless and splashed water on the saint. The disciples, outraged, wanted to punish him, but their guru said, "No, leave him alone." Suddenly the horse hit its master, knocking out some of his teeth. The saint then approached and lovingly helped the injured man. It was not the saint who punished him, but the inexorable laws of nature. God and His cosmic laws work unfailingly for the good of those whose actions are always in tune with Him, and for the awakening through suffering of those who are not true to the divine self within. Man is made in the image of God. You are the image of God. You should behave like a God. But what happens in the morning when you wake up? You lose patience and complain, "My coffee is cold." So what? Why get upset about things like that? Be equanimous, totally calm, free from all anger. That is what you want. Don't let anyone or anything rob you of your peace. Your goat is your peace. Don't let it be taken away, and don't blame others for your unhappiness. Blame yourself. If you are mistreated, look for the fault in yourself, and you will find it much easier to get along with everyone. Jesus looked at his enemies as children. If a child hits you, you do not hate him, you forgive him, knowing that he does not know what he is doing. When people persecute you, do not desecrate the divine image in you with revenge. If you want to realize the divine image, remember, you are a God. Behave like one. Most people are victims of their moods, and unless you control them, they will control you. A person who has no self-control is not fully healthy, even if he does not realize it. Those who control their moods become more balanced individuals. It is curious how no one is willing to do consciously something that he knows is against his own interest. And yet, driven by moods, whims, and habits, he often does the opposite of his own good. Always think before you act, and consider how what you do will affect you. Acting on impulse is not freedom, because you will be bound by the unpleasant consequences of wrong actions. But doing what your discernment tells you is good for you, that is liberation. That wisdom-guided action creates a divine existence. When you decide to do or not to do something and stick to that decision despite moods or bad habits, that is true freedom. The teachings of the greats of India are not Sunday affairs to be forgotten the rest of the week. They must be practiced every day. Faith alone is not enough. Self-discipline and control of moods are also essential. The training given by the Indian masters aims to teach the disciple how to be unconditionally happy, beyond suffering and change. For this training and for the understanding they have given me, I deeply thank them. God does not impose himself on anyone. If you sincerely seek the truth, God will help you find a book or a teacher who will inspire you. When the seeker is truly sincere, God sends him a guru. A guru is a person who knows God and who has been divinely appointed to guide the disciple from the darkness of ignorance to the light of wisdom. Through the pure vision of the guru, God teaches the devotee. The Lord has taken a vow of silence. He will not speak directly to the disciple until the latter has reached a certain spiritual level. But God's silence is not cruelty or indifference. On the contrary, in his humility and love, he has given us the freedom to shape our own destiny. He does not want to interfere with this freedom. He wants us to use our free will to find him, but he will never impose himself. Because God gave us independence and we misused it, we distanced ourselves from him. As long as you do not know God, as long as you have not heard his voice, no matter what spiritual path you are following, you have not yet achieved true communion with him. His voice can be heard, he can be known. He is more real than all the things you perceive with your five senses, but you have to work to find him. The guru is sent by God. To be successful in the search for the divine, as in every other aspect of life, it is necessary to follow the laws of God. To understand secular knowledge taught in a school, you have to learn it from a teacher who knows it. Similarly, to understand spiritual truths, you need a spiritual master, a guru, someone who knows God. Even if you cannot be in his physical presence, or even if he is no longer incarnated on this earth, you must follow the teaching of such a master if you want to find God. Not any teacher will do. There is only one guru, unique for every devotee. But if you turn away from the messenger of God, he silently asks you, "What is wrong with you, that you foolishly abandon the one I sent to help you learn the divine science of the soul?" Now you will have to wait a long time and prove yourself before I answer again. He who fails to learn through the wisdom and love of his guru, sent by God, will not find God in this life. At least several incarnations will have to pass before he gets another such opportunity. Understanding the divine law of the relationship between guru and disciple is essential. In India, we have learned this truth. It is very simple, but very important. You have to find your guru. Only then does true spiritual progress begin. I am not saying this to urge you to be faithful to me personally. I am simply telling you the truth. If you want God, you must be faithful to the one God has sent to help you. Besides being attuned to the guru, there must be an ardent desire, day and night, for God. The ardor of millions of loves must inflame your heart in the awareness of an urgent need. As the miser desires money, as the lover longs for the beloved, as the drowning man longs for air, so you must desire God. Call to him continually, will I find you? I want only you. And as you pray and pray, perhaps you will see a little glimmer of his light to encourage you. But God wants to know if you will persist, if your will cannot be weakened by any temptation. The mistakes you have made do not matter. If nothing can change your love for God, he will come to you. But how many of you meditate deeply enough to receive it? If you do it right, if you are sincere with God and just want to please him, you will find him. And he will speak to you through your awakened consciousness, through your spiritual perception. About 7 months ago, I was overwhelmed with activities. I was giving lectures every night, talking to people all day. I had no time to be alone with God, and so he seemed far away. I felt very down. Lord, what is this? I prayed. How can I think of you? Must I run away from all these lessons? I kept asking him if he wanted me to abandon everything and think only of him. I felt my soul and brain were about to explode with desire. I kept praying and crying, do with me what you want, I don't care. Others have died for money or women. I don't care if I perish for you, my God, but I have to know who you are. I have to know that you are here with me. How can I go on without you? I love to work. I love to help people, but not at the cost of losing you. Lord, my only thought has always been to serve you in your work. Why then do I sometimes feel that I have lost contact with you? When I refused to give up until he answered, the most beautiful answer came. The Lord said, when you were not meditating, weren't you missing me in your thoughts and thinking about meditation? When you meditated, you thought of me, and when you did not meditate, you missed me. So the thought of me was always predominant. From that day on, I have lived 7 months of ecstasy. Even while talking to people, continuing my classes, or doing other tasks, I felt the bliss of contact with God every minute. This divine state has not left me for months. Whatever I do, I find that the compass needle of my mind always points towards God. This is the consciousness of the devotee. You too must pray like this until you receive his answer. He will answer you as he answered me. There's always a dominant desire lurking in your mind. Find out what it is. Is it health, money, love? Maybe your health is not good, and in your subconscious you feel, Lord, if only I could be well. But why not desire God in the same way, remembering that he is always with you and is your greatest need? You can keep God at the center of your thoughts. In India, it is easy to remember God because everyone talks about him. Here, if you talk about him outside of church on Sunday, they consider you a fanatic. But America is advancing rapidly in spirituality. There is more understanding and longing for God here than in many other parts of the world. And I believe a great blessing is coming upon you. Cultivate those qualities of soul that will make all nations look upon you with respect. The two most important commandments to keep are, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. The neighbor is anyone who is placed in your path. When you follow these two commandments, all the others will automatically be fulfilled. He who is humble and loves God is the greatest of all. It's easy to rationalize and say you don't have time for God, but in your heart and in the background of your mind, you can always pray endlessly, reveal yourself to me, come to me, you are my life. Hold those thoughts. Whatever you are doing, facing a problem or enjoying a success, let God always be present in your heart and mind. I love only you. I seek only you. Reveal yourself. Then God will come to you. Thoughts are like a honeycomb. Love for God is honey. If you are truly sincere, God will come to drink the honey of your devotion from the honeycomb of your thoughts. Our destination is God. The desire for God does not arise by itself. It must be cultivated, and without that desire, life is meaningless. When you sleep, you say goodbye to this world, to your family, to your name, to everything, even to your body, and you don't know when you will have to say a more permanent goodbye to the world. You are on a journey, stopping here only for a short while. Life is like a great caravan passing by. Your first interest should be to discover the purpose of the journey and its destination. That destination is God. It could not be anything else. The Lord comes to the devotee who lives for Him and dies in Him. He touches that soul and says, "My son, wake up. You were only dreaming. Death has not touched you at all." Then the devotee understands that all his worldly experiences were not meant to torture him, but to teach him his true nature as a soul. The soul cannot be burned, it cannot be drowned, nor pierced, nor destroyed. The devotee realizes, I am not the body, I am formless, I am joy itself. Remind yourself of this truth every morning as you wake up. I am coming back from the inner sense of myself. I am not the body, I am invisible. I am joy, I am light, I am wisdom, I am love. I dwell in the dream body through which I am dreaming this earthly life, but I am eternally spirit. A controlled mind lessens pain. Whenever you are in pain, physically or mentally, practice this spiritual awareness. During sleep, even with a broken bone, you feel no pain. And if, while awake, you maintain a well-disciplined mind, 3/4 of the pain will disappear. There is no direct connection between pain and the body, except through the mind. When a stranger suffers, you do not feel the same pain as if he were your brother. A mother watching over her sick child suffers more than if it were someone else's child. Similarly, physical pain in your body intensifies because you identify with it. You have more sympathy for your own body than for the bodies of others. You must become capable of detaching your mind and feeling from the body. This is why Jesus said, "Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will wear." Love of the body, love of the senses, these are obstacles to spiritual development. If you want enlightenment, practice these truths. They are so beneficial that everyone should apply them. Every now and then, try to do without food or other comforts in your daily life. Fast for a day or two, give up some pleasure or comfort you are used to, and see if you are not equally at peace without them. The truly free person is master of himself. He is guided by the inner wisdom of the soul, not influenced by others or by the dictates of his own habits or moods. This kind of freedom requires rigid self-control and deep self-understanding, but it is not difficult to achieve because it is your true nature. One must maintain a constant state of mind of devotion to God. I have experimented with all kinds of activities, but no matter what I'm doing, my mind remains with God. You should enjoy this creation without becoming its slave. I know from experience that the pleasure of finding God is the most sublime. Yet people are so immersed in illusion that they do not make the effort to know Him. They prefer to devote themselves to worldly interests, or seek it passively through reading books, or wandering from one religion to another. They do not follow the true path of perceiving God, because it requires constant prayer, seeking day and night, and victory over all the forces that distract the mind from Him. Yoga is wonderful because it offers gradual and concrete methods to come to God realization. In college, you can get a Doctor of Divinity and become a Doctor of Divinity, but remain a Doctor of Illusion if you do not practice religion, if you do not practice the perception of God. The success of some religious teachers is like spiritual mushrooms. They grow overnight, but without a solid foundation. Qualified teachers have divine realization and are guided by the blessings of God and their God-realized guru. You cannot save the soul of others if you have not saved your own first. In the East, true seekers first strive to realize themselves and do not preach to save others. In the West, however, many masters aspire to save souls without having saved their own. I met one of these. He was completely immersed in matter, yet he had a large following as a spiritual teacher. He pretended to be what he was not, a deeply spiritual man. Because I was born in India, he considered me a pagan. Thinking himself a good Christian, he felt compelled to tell me that I knew nothing of the truth. But when I asked him to describe what he felt when he entered into ecstasy and communed with God, he could not answer. His greatness was as superficial as the praises that proclaimed it. Then I told him the truth. Your experience of God and knowledge of your true nature are severely limited because you are too identified with the senses to develop any real spirituality. The adoration of many followers is not the measure of spiritual attainment. The fact that others tell you you are great does not make it true. Flattery is insincere and meaningless. If you seek true love, attracting people with your authenticity, you will no longer be fooled by flattery. You will see it for what it is. Flattery is poisonous because it distorts the truth and misleads. As long as you enjoy surrounding yourself with flattery, you will not have true friends. Some expect flattery from me, but I never give it. I cannot be insincere with the God I see in everyone, even those who are still in illusion. Test yourself every day. Are you living according to your true soul nature? Don't be discouraged if you think God isn't hearing your prayers or seeing your efforts. If you study the lives of the saints, you will see that they had many more problems than you. They not only had to overcome themselves, but also endure the difficulties of others. Every disciple thinks he is the only one the master must follow. He wants the guru to respond to him according to his expectations. And in this country, the costs of an organization and the support of the disciples force the spiritual master to also be a money machine. But God has blessed me, sending me understanding souls to help me accomplish what He sent me to do. Follow those who have found God. Follow the spiritual paths recognized by the masters who have found God. If you practice the methods of yoga of self-realization, you will reach God much faster than by following the blind paths of theology. India has specialized in God realization. If you follow its true masters, you will reach the goal much faster. In the beginning of my search, I tried all the methods. I know which one is the fastest. Someone said to me, "Everyone says their path is the best. How do I know which is the right one?" I said, "Test them. Only by tasting the water can you know if it will quench your thirst. Thinking about it is not enough. Pray for God to guide you. If you are sincere, God will show you the right path for you." So, dear friends, remember, day and night seek God. Do not let moods or habits control you. Use your free will to always do the right thing. Whatever you are doing, mentally pray to God. Don't be rigid or mechanical. Do everything with concentration, but with God always in the background of your mind. Lord, reveal yourself, come to me. Your love is all that satisfies me. I want only you. And in the evening, meditate. Practice the techniques taught by the masters of self-realization, and you cannot fail to find God. Make this vow with me, O God. Let us make a solemn promise within our hearts to no longer fall into the sleep of illusion, but to remain awake in you, to make every effort to pray to you incessantly, to follow the path of yoga of self-realization, and through our example, to help others enter your heaven. Father, help us to find you, for you are ours. Your journey does not end here. Every word heard today is a seed of light planted in your heart. Cultivate it with prayer, with meditation, with the constant remembrance of God.
As Yogananda says, whatever you are doing, pray to Him mentally. Do not be rigid or mechanical. Do everything with concentration, but with God always in the background of the mind. If this message has touched your soul, leave a comment with a heart or write, "I seek God." And do not forget, you are eternal spirit, endless joy, infinite love. If you found this trip interesting, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next videos. Share your opinion or questions in the comments below. We are always happy to read your thoughts and discuss them. If you want to support us in producing new content and enjoy some exclusive benefits, subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us carry on this mission of sharing and spiritual growth. Thank you for being with us until the end. See you in the next video. Happy meditation and good continuation on your journey of inner discovery.